Welcome to this deep dive. Today we're digging into a really powerful pastoral reflection. It's called No King But Love by Pastor Jeong.
Hmm.
And our source material, it really takes us right into the heart of what Pastor Jeong calls the No Kings movement.
Right, these peaceful demonstrations, popping up in places like Half Moon Bay, Los Altos,
Mm.
really all over.
Yeah, exactly. With those simple, very striking signs just saying no kings and clear calls for justice too.
So our mission, I think, for this deep dive is to kind of unpack how this reflection really connects these, contemporary calls for change
Right.
with a very deeply rooted spiritual vision, a
Yeah.
vision of leadership, of community.
It's about looking at how a faith perspective can sort of redefine power, isn't it?
Mm.
And maybe our purpose too.
Exactly. It really challenges those definitions.
So, okay, let's get into Pastor Jong's perspective here. He notes that, while leaders often think they're acting in the country's best interest, the reflections suggests maybe that our society can sometimes get a bit um, overly focused on self-interest,
Hmm.
maybe prioritizing, say, national wealth or power.
And for
Or,
things like compassion,
yeah,
community,
yeah,
shared humanity.
exactly. It sets up this real tension.
It absolutely does. And what's really interesting is how the No Kings movement isn't just framed as, being against specific politicians or governments.
Oh, yeah.
Pastor Jeong seems to see it as something deeper, a kind of societal yearning, challenging any power, really, that puts self-interest before the common good.
So it's broader than just politics. It's about lifting up, like, the spirit of democracy,
Yeah.
justice.
Yeah, and resisting tyranny, but with this powerful message of hope for shared well-being.
And Pastor Jong takes this even further, doesn't he? He ties it directly to faith, arguing this movement calls people of faith to live into Jesus Christ's vision. What's so revolutionary about that?
Well, this is really the core challenge in the reflection, I think. Pastor John suggests Jesus showed us a leadership based on, well, radical love,
Hmm.
not domination.
Yeah.
And compassion, not, conquest. It's a completely different kind of power, maybe best seen in Christ's death and resurrection.
So not power over others.
Exactly. It's what Pastor Jeong calls love poured out for the sake of all. And that's revolutionary because it flips the script, suggesting true strength isn't in control, but in letting go of self-interest for everyone else.
Okay, so if power is love poured out, what's the end game then? What's the ultimate goal, according to Pastor Jong?
Well, connecting the dots, the goal isn't about, self-preservation or political wins for your side.
Right.
It's about creating what he calls the beloved community.
Beloved
Yeah,
community.
yeah. A vision for society built on radical inclusion, justice, shared well-being. It's moving past just tolerating each other to genuine solidarity. It's quite active, quite transformative.
And there was that very specific example given, right, of this vision in action.
Mm.
The reflection mentioned clergy, United Methodist clergy from the California Pacific Conference,
Yeah, standing outside that detention center in LA, nonviolently demonstrating.
advocating for immigrants, for the marginalized, really putting that idea into practice.
That's such a powerful link, isn't it? Showing how, witness translates into actual action.
Mhm.
The prayer in the reflection even talks about this praying for empathy over apathy and for faith to be a living witness. Prayer is becoming real action. It connects right back to John 18:3-6, where Jesus says his kingdom is not from this world.
Which doesn't mean ignoring the world.
Not at all. It means recognizing a different source of authority, one that's beyond earthly power games. It inspires that nonviolent resistance and a different way of impacting society.
So really, what does this all mean for you listening in?
Mhm.
This reflection really pushes us, I think, to consider what true leadership, what real power looks like
Mm-hmm.
when it's actually anchored in love, in shared well-being, in compassion, instead of, force or just self-interest.
Right. Which leaves us with a pretty big question to ponder, doesn't it? In a world that, let's face it, often puts wealth and individual power first. What does it actually mean for you to build a beloved community? And maybe how can your own actions embody that kind of leadership, that love poured out, rather than just power asserted for yourself?